Just because a man looks like a man, it doesn't mean that he feels like a man on the inside. What is going on externally is then going to have very little to do with what is going on internally. Still, even though his physical appearance will create the impression that he is a man, it doesn't mean that his behavior will create the same impression. His behavior is then going to shed light on what is happening within him. 2 experiences. Now, while he may be aware that he feels like a boy, there is also the chance that he isn't aware. If he is aware of this, he may end up looking into what he can do to change how he feels. Through doing this, it will give him a chance to emotionally grow up and to grow into a strong man in the process. On the other hand, if he hasn't been able to step back and how he feels is just seen as a normal part of him, his life is unlikely to change. An identity. Due to how long he has felt this way for, it is not going to occur to him that he feels like a boy. The emotional experience that he has is then just going to be seen as part of who he is. Even so, this doesn't mean that there won't be moments in his life when he ends up feeling frustrated and angry. Yet, when this does happen, it might not be long until he ends up feeling down and even depressed. A bleak existence. As a result of how he feels and the view that he has of himself and the world, it may mean that he is used to being walked over by others. This is likely to show that it is a challenge for him to stand his ground. Along with this, he may also lack a sense of direction, not knowing what he wants to do with his life. Therefore, even if he has a job, it doesn't mean that he will feel as though he is on the right track. Up and down. If his emotions are generally out of balance, this is going to be another area of his life that causes him problems. The emotional part of his being is not going to be on his side, so to speak, it will be working against him. Consequently, there may be a number of things in the external world that he relies on to soothe his emotions. One way he may do this is by masturbating to porn or he might take drugs, for instance. A strong attraction. When it comes to the type of woman that a man like this is drawn to, it is unlikely that this will be a woman who is very feminine. The reason for this is that this man is going to want a woman who possesses what he hasn't developed. This is not to say that he will be consciously aware of the kind of women that he is attracted to, though, as this could be something that he hasn't thought about. But even if he is not aware of the type of women that he is drawn to, it may become clear if he was to think about the kind of women he has been with or drawn to over the years. A closer look. As he lacks a sense of direction, is emotionally unstable and finds it hard to assert himself, the woman he is drawn to can be someone who takes care of this for him. The woman is then going to be strongly attached to her masculine energy, while he will be strongly attached to his feminine energy. From the outside, a woman like this may appear to be a strong woman, but this could be nothing more than an illusion. Instead, this could be a woman who has lost touch with her feminine aspect due to the fact that she doesn't feel safe enough to embrace this side of her being. A false self. The self that she presents to the world is then a mask that she wears to keep her inner wounds at bay. How she feels deep down is then going to be mirrored back to her by the type of man that she ends up with. Unconsciously, he will see her as someone who will give him that he didn't get as a child, and in him, she will see the part of herself that she has lost touch with and needs to be rescued, which means that both of them will be emotionally unavailable and unable to be present in the relationship. Both of them will be playing a role, making it more or less impossible for them to deeply connect with each other. The way forward. In order for a man like this to end up with a woman who is in touch with her feminine aspect, he will need to embrace his masculine aspect. By working through his own inner wounds, he will no longer look toward a woman to give him a sense of direction, to soothe his emotions or to sort his challenges out. Once this has taken place, a will be able to attract a woman who has embraced her feminine aspect and feels safe enough to be vulnerable around him. There may be moments when he occasionally sees her as his mother, but a big part of him will know that she isn't. Awareness. If a man is looking for a mother figure, it may show that his mother and father were emotionally unavailable during his early years. the love that he needed from his mother and the guidance that he needed from his father wouldn't have been provided. When it comes to healing the early damage, a man may need to reach out for external support. This is something that can be provided by the assistance of a therapist or a healer.